Welcome to Rhode Island School of Design's 2026 Commencement. You may be seated. Once again, please silence all cell phones and take a moment to locate the nearest emergency exit. Vice President for Social Equity and Inclusion, Dr. Rami Hanna, will read the Rhode Island School of Design Land Acknowledgement.
Rhode Island School of Design is built on what is now called College Hill, part of the ancestral homelands of the Narragansett Indian tribe. Indigenous people from many tribes and nations, near and far, live, study, and work in Providence today. The amplification of Native voices and histories is crucial to rectifying the many violent legacies of colonialism, and we gratefully acknowledge the ongoing critical contributions of Indigenous people across our state, region, and nation. Land acknowledgements are not confined to the past. They are a living, ongoing responsibility. As an institution dedicated to art and design, we recognize the power of creative expression in illuminating histories and imagining more equitable futures. Together, we will work to foster Indigenous visibility by reflecting critically and centering the voices and lived experiences of Indigenous people in our learning and making. Thank you.
Please welcome President Crystal Williams.
Thank you, Hugo, and thank you, Vice President Hanna. A very special thank you to our musical accompaniment by ERB. ERB, thank you. Thank you also to the wonderful team of staff, faculty, students, alums, and volunteers who have made today's ceremony possible. Thank you, folks. I'd also like to acknowledge the 3 members of RISD's Student-Run Design Guild who designed this year's materials. Graphic design seniors Kei Ga-hyun Kim, Coco Li, and Rachel Shin. A warm welcome to all of you gathered here today to celebrate Rhode Island School of Design's 143rd commencement and the class of 2026. Greetings to the co-chair of RISD's Board of Trustees, Hillary Blumberg, and members of the Board of Trustees, staff, curators, faculty, librarians, our honorary degree recipients and their families, speakers, alumni, and friends. I would especially like to thank and acknowledge the parents, caregivers, family, and other beloveds of the graduates who are in attendance today or who are watching from afar. Your care and encouragement have been instrumental to our arrival at this moment. It is a delight to gather together and celebrate the accomplishments of RISD's graduating students. Students, please help us thank your family, your caregivers, and your beloveds. In keeping with your yearbook theme, field notes, I've been reflecting on what it means to design one's life as an artist, as a designer, and to fashion a path for yourself that does not exist or is not highly traveled. So I'll begin with a story. Some months ago, I found myself on a group tour of Glenstone Museum in Potomac, Maryland, a multi-acre campus where sculptures occupy meadows and fields, galleries exist, cafes, and there are many pathways. After decamping from the bus and being greeted and oriented to the campus, the entire group veered right and headed up towards the galleries, chitter-chattering and having a good time. I veered left and trudged up the hill towards a huge Jeff Koons outdoor sculpture sitting on the hilltop. I went left because it was quiet, and having had enough of what I call peopling for that day, we'd had a day full of communing with each other, engaging in talks about art and equity and justice and so forth, I sought my own solace. But also, if I'm frank, like many of you, if not most of you, left turns are in my nature. So I went up the hill. Either way, after Jeff Koons's grassy horsehead, I worked my way down the opposite hill on the side of the sculpture until I found myself approaching a narrow path made of wooden slats, tightly joined and elevated 1.5 feet or so from the ground. For the first several steps, I wasn't paying attention, other than to note how neatly done was the wood's joinery. The craftsmanship was indeed exquisite, and I thought of the furniture and sculpture and landscape architecture students who would especially admire it. I took a few more steps ruminating on a fence I needed to build in my back garden, but soon approached a sharp jag, a kind of 35-degree turn in the path. What in the world, I thought? Who puts such a sharp turn on a narrow wooden path in the woods? And what if I hadn't been paying attention, I thought, and I harumphed. And so now my attention focused and sharpened, not only to the path's elevation and orientation, but to the path's unusual nature. First, it was crooked, deliberately, unambiguously, and in some ways, dangerously crooked. Its sharp corners demanded my attention, for if I stepped off the path, I'd fall. And so, second, it seemed to go on and on this path. On that wintry day, because the trees were naked and shivering, I could see the path jagging into the distance, where off on one side stood a gorgeous sculpture by Simone Lee, which is what actually compelled me forward, though honestly, I could not discern the path's end. So where did it end? Did it end? I found myself asking. And I was apprehensive because since I'd chosen to go left, no one from my group, my bus group, was there with me or near me. I was alone, left to, as one might say, my own devices. And then I'd be stuck in Potomac, Maryland, if I happened to fall. And so while I didn't face real danger, I was apprehensive. So before me seemed to be 3 clear options. 1, go forward towards something I could see a bit in the distance and was curious to examine, taking care not to fall off the path. 2, I could decide not to chance it and to forego what surely would be a treat and maybe even an opportunity to commune with something I suspected I would love, and turn back. That was the second. I could just sort of say, meh, and go back. Or 3, I could leap the 1.5 feet down the path and into the moss and leaves and do my own thing, probably find a more direct path to that sculpture I wanted to see, be damned at all, and potentially be left behind with consequences I'd have to bear. An adventure then, I thought. A moment of indecision and indirection. What to do, which way to go. Questions tied, I knew at that moment, to discovery and skill, safety and spirit. This path, it seemed to me, more than any other path upon which I have trod physically, was a grand metaphor for life. I share this story with you because when I remember the questions I grappled with at your stage of life, there is no way in the world I could ever have imagined standing before you now, a college president of this incredible institution. In fact, I tried college for the first time and honestly for a second time and dropped out. Life for me then was a series of trials and errors and fully seemingly unrelated jobs and adventures, and I soon learned, however, that those jobs and adventures were critical to helping me understand what it is that I love and how I wanted to have an impact on the world, what I uniquely could offer. And so I'm sharing with you today these thoughts because they helped me learn that sometimes the path leading towards our future often begins with more uncertainty than we might imagine. It can be full of cracks, curves, sharp turns, and maybe even a dead end or two. I have found this to be particularly true for those of us who are creative. Ambiguity is difficult to deal with, but it can be a gift. In hindsight, I think about ambiguity as a blank canvas, filled in with our vision and our iterations. So today, beloveds, I want to share a few short things that I want you to keep in mind as you continue to chart your paths. To arrive at this point, you've spent countless hours in the classroom and studio in intense study. There, you've gained an intimate familiarity with materials and objects, their composition, and their capacity for transformation. You've explored the potential for ideas and sensory experiences to inform your approach to making. You've studied gestures and expressions that illuminate the human condition. You've been encouraged to observe, question, and deduce, all in an effort to realize creations made by your hand and that reflect your dreams and aspirations. Every day, you have been asked to try and try again and again and again, and in doing so, you have honed a kind of creative intelligence and creative problem solving that will be among your greatest assets in all areas of your life. You have learned to ask sharper questions and conjure and manifest new possibilities. The concept of iteration, perhaps one of the most important lessons you've learned during your time at RISD, has been at the core of so much of what you do as an artist, maker, creative thinker. Iteration, simply defined, repetition, has served you well in achieving technical mastery, and it will be especially useful as you go into the world and try different paths to designing a fulfilling and rewarding life. In your liberal arts courses, you sharpened your capacity to actively and skillfully analyze information, to envision concepts, synthesize data, and come to reasonable conclusions about how to achieve an outcome, or perhaps how to avoid an outcome. You've learned to develop original intelligence and to merge it with creative intelligence to evince unlikely, exciting innovations. Together, these two types of intelligences, original and creative, coupled with creative problem solving, comprise something someone once called the RISD brain. And that unique combination is itself a thing not only of great beauty, but of limitless power. You take these types of intelligences and problem-solving skills for granted because all of you have it, all of you practice them. But as you move into the wider world, beloveds, you will soon learn how precious that RISD brain, that RISD way of thinking, that RISD training is. You've acquired from your studio critiques another astonishing, rare, and highly valuable skill, which is to both receive and give critical and loving feedback, to synthesize it, to metabolize it, and to respond to it productively, affirmatively. And in so doing, you've become stronger thinkers, stronger team members, collaborators, problem solvers, artists, and designers. Your ability to crit is a powerful tool, a valuable habit of mind and action, and will serve you for all of the days in all of your endeavors. Finally, you have learned to be intellectually and creatively flexible, to embody the principles of curiosity and iteration. And that is what is called a growth mindset, which is not only a strategy and a tool for making practices, but also a means by which to live one's life. As you leave this place, beloveds, be confident that you have much to offer, more than you likely realize at this moment. Maintain unwavering faith in yourself and your ability to remind the world of the ease, joy, and beautiful complexity life holds, and continue to live as courageously and as authentically as you have done here. Today, class of 2026, you join a community filled with more than 33,000 alums cast across the globe. You are innovators, makers, thinkers, doers, attorneys, physicians, teachers, entrepreneurs, all of those graduates have made unique paths. We look forward to bearing witness to how you will enable, inspire, illuminate, and expand the humanity in our world, no matter where your path leads. You, creative leaders and daring innovators, your impact can be limitless, no matter how smooth or jagged, narrow or wide your path will be. Remember, ideate, iterate, expand and deepen original intelligence and creative intelligence, honor and hone and amplify all. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be grand. We exalt you. We are proud of you. We have been honored by you. Stay close to RISD. Congratulations, class of 2026. It is now my deep pleasure to introduce Provost Tuba Ghadessi.
Thank you, President Williams, and welcome, everyone. I am delighted to introduce our graduate student speaker, Shrishti Chatterjee, Master of Fine Arts in Graphic Design. Shrishti practiced social design in India before coming to RISD's graduate program in graphic design. Her thesis, Seeking Ground, proposes a design method that pays attention to the natural world as a pathway to belonging. Her work features close and deep observations of subjects from something as small as the night-blooming jasmine to as planetary as sprawling internet cables. If she weren't a designer, Shrishti notes she would be a private investigator. Please welcome Shrishti to the podium.
Thank you for the enthusiasm. Thank you for the introduction, Provost Ghadessi, and thank you, President Williams. Thank you also to our faculty and staff. Thank you to all our families and friends. Thank you for helping us get here. To my fellow graduates, can I just say how incredible you look today, and maybe for the first time in 2 years, how well rested we all feel. Who can believe it was only a couple of weeks ago we were right here in the convention center, finishing our finals with close to no sleep, no food, and as my friends would say, running entirely on vibes. Our work, because it is so compelling, can make it really hard to look away. Sometimes I do wish that we could offer ourselves the same pause, the same rejuvenation that we try to offer to the world through our work. I remember my first day in the city. I was walking down College Hill, and I was looking for some big and obvious sign that I had arrived at RISD. And I quickly learned that this small and intense school has no obvious meeting point. Our studios, galleries, and buildings are all over the place. And then I saw the Providence River. I had found the center. To me, the heart of RISD is the river that meanders through different parts of our campus. I have crossed the bridge almost every day for the past 2 years, weighed down by my laptop, my camera, my books, some furniture, and whatever new material has my attention that week. And I know I'm not alone. I have seen all of you at that bridge, always in motion, juggling your own assortment of materials and priorities. If you grew up in an Asian household like I did, you probably heard some version of this story. Your parents or your grandparents having to cross the treacherous long river to get to school. It's a story that's designed to make you feel a little grateful and very guilty at the same time. And I can't believe we get to tell that story. We had to cross a river to get to school. Thank you. I'm not done yet. The river has been a silent participant in our journeys. On a sunny day, the river is an inky green prism scattering light in all directions. It is joined in this iridescent dance by the swans and the seagulls. Even without our knowing, when we most need it, the river passes on to us its vitality. In moments of deeper crisis, I actually seek the river. When a question feels too big, too muddy, the river seems to say, let it settle, the answers will come to you. And there's no shortage of big and muddy questions. I have often wondered, what value do I, as a graphic designer, bring to the world? Am I leaving this place better than when I found it? Against the giant waves of the environmental, the political, the humanitarian, and now the technological crises, the work we do as creatives can feel small, it can feel futile, and more recently, entirely replaceable. We're likely to grapple with these questions throughout our lives. For now, if I may, I'd like to share 2 things I have learned from this community that have helped. First, I have learned from you the practice of imagination. We are artists and we are designers, and we bring imagination to a world that can otherwise feel so absolute, linear, and intolerant to other ways of being. Here we take the practice of imagination very seriously. It is important to dream up other possibilities, all possibilities. The graduate community has shown me that imagination can become very real when we devote our time and our labor to it. If it can be imagined, you will find a way to get it done. I have seen you challenge the boundaries of your disciplines. I have seen you mold glass and soil, paper and paint, cloth and screen into forms that felt impossible. I have learned to look again at what once felt ordinary. You have taught me to make things that don't neatly fit into this world, to make space for what is strange, what is fragile, what is not yet understood, to sit with the discomfort of an unresolved idea and with the messiness of the world at large, and to know that imagination will get us very, very far, just as long as we keep flowing. The second thing I've learned from this community is the value of the collective. In the fall of 2025, I became really intrigued by the spotted lanternfly. Everyone knows what that is? A small plant-hopping insect that was accidentally introduced to the United States. It quickly gained this reputation of being invasive, and a huge public momentum gathered around eliminating it. I understood the need to protect our local ecology, but this unexamined drive to kill something that hadn't even arrived here on its own will, it troubled me. And later, I found out that it troubled other graduate students too. We were all thinking about the questions of how do we belong here? Who is considered native and who is not? We soon realized that we were all international students who had migrated here, and that the language of invasion extended just as easily to us. Talking about these little creatures squashed on the ground became a way to examine the larger social and political realities we were living inside. I recognize how rare this collective is, one that finds you in your strange, specific, sometimes difficult, sometimes absurd obsession and says, I get it, I see you. We may not often gather visibly, but we are a community that flows through our shared ideas, our shared labor, our shared doubts, and our shared courage. On our final day in this place, I want to admit that it feels pretty hard to leave. We're walking out of one of the few places that was specifically designed to hold the kind of imaginative and collective work that we do, and the kind of people that we are. This particular group of people in this particular configuration, doing this impossible thing together, it is hard to accept that this is the last day of that very special journey. As most families and friends here will agree, artists and designers can be incredibly hard on themselves. It's practically a requirement of admissions here. It can take a great deal of convincing to help us see the beauty and transformative value of our own creations. But I leave here utterly transformed by the thinking and expressions of my peers. I hope that when you leave this auditorium today, you will stop by the river. I hope you will feel the full weight of your exhaustion, the unfinished ideas, the risks, the 3 a.m. certainty that somehow you had gotten everything wrong. You carried it, and you made something anyway. I hope you will feel incredibly proud of all the friendships you nurtured, the many moments of joy and pain you embraced with your full being. The river has been here long before we came, and it will be here long after. Our time here may feel like a blip in its grand journey, but we have kept these currents going. Class of 26, it's been an honor to share this river with you. Now is our time to carry it forward. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. It is now my pleasure to introduce the senior class speaker, Alayka Seputra. Graduating with a BFA in Industrial Design, clearly loudly there, Alayka is an Indonesian designer, artist, and writer. Her practice moves between woodworking, painting, writing, and object making, exploring how memories, labor, touch, and cultural identity can be translated into physical form. Alayka's thesis project, Asmara, reclaims and reframes the phrase "made in Indonesia" into "designed by an Indonesian," centering Indonesian authorship, intimacy, and material culture within contemporary design. Please welcome Alayka to the podium.
Guys, you can't make me cry now. Okay. Well, first, thank you and hello, Provost Ghadessi, President Williams, faculty, staff, families, and most importantly, hello, class of 2026. Do a quick hair. I would like to start with congratulations, but congratulations is not a big enough word to evoke the amount of work, artistry, and efforts you all have achieved these past 4 years. We are on the very last leg of being not just university students, but RISD students. Isn't that unbelievable? As the provost said, I am from Indonesia, and if you don't know, Indonesia is about a 22-hour plane ride away from the United States. That's a long ride. However, this kind of journey is not mine alone. About 35% of RISD students here are international and have made valiant efforts to cross the seas in order to be here. But in truth, 100% of RISD students are valiant. We all decided to come to RISD and trade comfort for challenge and familiarity for growth. Every single one of us has produced a million projects. We get up every morning and we stay up many nights attempting to be functioning members of society. And despite the hardships and calamity we call this planet. We were also the first cohort to be fully back on campus after the pandemic, learning how to share space again in the pressure cooker of EFS. And this year, we survived a historical blizzard, and that was bad enough to shut RISD down for a week. Okay, we still went to studio though. And yes, we all know it, RISD students are badass. But there is something more subtle about us, something that I've been pondering and wish to share. And that question is, are we, as artists and designers, outsiders or insiders? I started thinking about this on a RISD ride this spring when my friends and I were heading up the hill to a party. So the occasion was the baptism of a friend's plastic baby. Shout out, and whatever, long story. But as we stepped into the van, everyone was dressed in all white. One of us was in a long priest robe, and the driver looked at us and was somehow compelled to say, RISD students used to look crazier back in the day. Now you all look normal and blend into corporate society. Granted, we were all wearing white, so maybe it looked like we were going to play golf in Connecticut. But still I thought, hey, that's not true. We're still different. I walk around Boston and I look like a mermaid. But over time, I've been reflecting and thinking that maybe being seen as different isn't the whole answer. Is it possible that this stereotype of the artist misrepresents us and holds us back? That being an outsider is purely a projected label? In many ways, we are the ultimate insiders. How? Well, we as artists and designers are the creators of everything around us. As a designer, a fine artist, a maker, or simply a person, can you even think of a world where art doesn't exist? From the fork in your hand to the city's architecture, we are literally the form and functional backbone of the world. Further, no person goes about life without knowing what they love visually, emotionally, and even artistically, from the sounds we listen to the clothes we wear, to the paintings we hold dear. In this sense, we truly are insiders, but that's also not quite the whole story either. I want to give a shout out to one of my favorite artists, the filmmaker John Waters, whose vulgar, truthful, and eye-opening 2015 RISD commencement speech clarified for me how to resolve the conundrum of outsider-insider. My favorite part of the speech goes like this. Today may be the end of your juvenile delinquency, but it should also be the first day of your new adult disobedience. These days, everybody wants to be an outsider, politically correct to a fault. That's good. I hope you are working to end racism, sexism, ageism, fascism, but is that enough? Isn't being an outsider so 2014? I mean, maybe it's time to throw caution to the wind, really shake things up, and reinvent yourself as a new version of the most dreaded enemy, the insider, like I am. If you know John Waters at all, you would think he can't be serious. He is such an outsider. But by unapologetically putting his outsider values into the mainstream, introducing drag queens to the world, he blurred the line and redefined who or what an outsider or insider can be. So here's where I'm landing. We are all either and both. And here's my advice to take. Take what makes you an outsider and make that your ticket to being the ultimate insider. Don't hold back who you are and put your imagination and aspirations in front of eyes who've never seen it before. Yes, putting it out there can be scary these days for any kind of outsider. Not just artists and designers, but people who are international, people of color, LGBTQ, neurodivergent, women. And guess what? We'll be okay. What sets us apart and what keeps us truly safe is the individual uniqueness of ourselves and what our, gorgeous wrinkly brains can produce. And now, more than ever, is the time to share ourselves with the world. It is time to allow ourselves to show these insiders what's up. And before we head our separate ways, let's stand here in our special edition caps and gowns and remember this community and how we persevered. Let's be proud of our outsider-insider selves and thank ourselves for making it through. And of course, thank our families for helping us achieve all the things that we did. And to my own parents, I'd like to say, terima kasih ayah dan bunda atas segala pengorbanan, dukungan, dan cinta yang aku tak pernah akan pantas untuk mendapatkan. And last, let's remember together that graduating with us is Nathan Macheo. He's an eternal friend of many of ours, who I wish to dedicate this speech to. For me, his self-portraits and portraits of others inspired me to look at myself and all of us and to see the beauty that we don't often see in ourselves. So let's take that feeling with us. Thank you, class of 2026.
Thank you very much, Alayka. Each year at Commencement, the RISD community honors creative thinkers and makers who have made significant contributions to the worlds of art, design, and culture. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, Rhode Island School of Design is pleased to confer the degree of Honorary Doctor of Fine Arts in recognition of the outstanding achievements of the distinguished individuals who have joined us today. At this time, I'd like to ask Board Co-Chair Hillary Blumberg to please rise and join me for the hooding of our honorary degree candidates. Eric Telford, Dean of Fine Arts, and Christy Caracas, Assistant Professor, Film, Animation, Video, please present the first honorary degree candidate.
President Williams, we have the great honor of presenting Roz Chast for the Honorary Doctor of Fine Arts degree from Rhode Island School of Design.
Roz Chast, your hilarious yet poignant cartoons and collections have delighted us for decades. Since you began contributing to The New Yorker in 1978, you have used your sharp eye and deft hand to create work that resonates broadly, shining a light on the foibles and inner thoughts that make us human. Wait, Roz. Roz, winner of multiple notable honors, including the 2014 National Book Critics Circle Award for your graphic memoir, Can't We Talk About Something More Pleasant? We present you with this Honorary Doctor of Fine Arts degree from Rhode Island School of Design. Andrew Raftery, Professor of Printmaking, please present the second honorary degree candidate. Okay. Okay. You can, or you can stay here if you'd like.
President Williams, we have the great honor of presenting Stephen A. Metcalf for the Honorary Doctor of Fine Arts degree from Rhode Island School of Design.
Stephen A. Metcalf, as a long-serving member of our Board of Trustees and descendant of RISD's founding family, you embody an unparalleled understanding of our community and arts education as a whole. We are humbled by your contributions to the local art and design scene and grateful for the philanthropic spirit you inspire in others. Stephen, for your lifelong dedication to RISD's college and museum, and your continued support for a wide range of local arts institutions, we present you with this Honorary Doctor of Fine Arts degree from Rhode Island School of Design. John Caserta, Dean of Architecture and Design, and Pete Euler, Graduate Program Director and Associate Professor of Furniture Design, please present the third honorary degree candidate.
President Williams, we have the great honor of presenting David Wiseman for the Honorary Doctor of Fine Arts degree from Rhode Island School of Design.
David Wiseman, your fascination with the natural world is evident in everything you make, from one-of-a-kind porcelain cherry blossom ceilings to terrazzo inlaid furniture and illuminated branch and bud chandeliers. Since I came to RISD, I've enjoyed the privilege of dining and hosting guests beneath the illuminated sculptural installation you created for the President's House. David, your distinctly unique work can be found in museums and institutions across the nation and the world, including the new Obama Presidential Center. For your dedication to decorative art traditions and timeless craft techniques, we present you with this Honorary Doctor of Fine Arts degree from Rhode Island School of Design. Jordan Seabury, Assistant Professor of Drawing and Experimental and Foundation Studies, and Dennis Congdon, Professor of Painting, please present our final honorary degree candidate.
President Williams, I have the great honor to present Julie Mehretu for the Honorary Doctor of Fine Arts degree from the Rhode Island School of Design.
Julie Mehretu. As a MacArthur Award winner and recipient of the Ordre des Arts et des Lettres from the French Ministry of Culture, you have created monumental works of art that inspire people around the globe. Your unique ability to articulate your vision of the social experience and explore pamphlets of history continues to set you apart in the world of visual art. Julie, for your many great contributions to contemporary culture, including Uprising of the Sun, the extraordinary glass piece you were commissioned to create for the Obama Presidential Center, we present you with this Honorary Doctor of Fine Arts degree from your alma mater, Rhode Island School of Design. It is now, you can give me a hug. Congratulations. All but one of our honorary degree recipients are alums of Rhode Island School of Design, which is an amazing thing. Congratulations, one and all. Amazing, 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 amazing. It is now my privilege to invite our commencement speaker, Julie Mehretu, to address our graduates, their families, loved ones, and esteemed guests here with us at this special occasion. Please welcome Julie Mehretu.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. You're here. It's such an honor to be here with you today. I remember this moment. I remember it really clearly. I didn't feel as most rested as some of you have mentioned. I think we had hardly any sleep before walking in here, but I do remember it really clearly. And the city, feeling the light, our parents in town or other relatives and friends, the way Providence glimmers, the water, the hills, the great sunsets, and the feeling of it all at once, the nervousness, the joy, the strange relief of having finished something genuinely hard, kind of feeling aimless and directionless for a bit, and something that asked everything of you in a way that you had not necessarily experienced before. So before I say anything else, I just want to congratulate you on finishing that and being here today with all of these loved ones surrounding me. So all of you have already done something radical before today, before this diploma. The most radical thing happened years ago when you made a choice that the world around you probably questioned, maybe gently and maybe not so gently. I know those voices and the internal drive to create without knowing what that fully meant. I grew up in Michigan in a family that had come from Ethiopia, that loved art, but was not steeped in contemporary art, that loved me and wanted a life for me that would sustain me and that they could understand. So much of who I was becoming at the time challenged a lot of the assumptions from where I came. I was a queer person working in restaurants to earn my living and a deep desire to pursue a life in art. The path to a place like this, to a life that made entirely of making, thinking, and seeing, was not laid out for me. I had to find it, and then I had to insist on it against real uncertainty and real doubt, including my own. I say this not to make this moment about myself, but because I want you to know whatever distance you travel to get here, geographically, culturally, financially, personally, that distance is not incidental to your work. It is inside it. It is part of what you see that others don't necessarily. Your parents, the economy, every algorithm or optimizing for certainty and efficiency, every voice that asked, but what will you do with that? Every cultural signal that said creativity is a luxury, that making art is a detour, that the real work of the world happens somewhere else. You said no to all of that. You bet 4 years of your life, 2 or 3 for the graduate students. Your late nights, your all-nighters, your failures, your breakthroughs, your entire formation as thinking, feeling, making human being was on the belief that conjuring something into existence that wasn't there before is not a waste of time, that it matters, that it might be the thing that matters most. That choice was the beginning of the work, the hard, necessary, endless work of reaching into what I can only call the radical imaginatory. That place of deep creative possibility where what doesn't exist yet becomes thinkable, where the world as it starts to give way to the world as it could be. You have been living inside that practice these years here at RISD. Today you carry it into everything, even if that job is waiting tables, like myself, or working for Pixar, or with the architect or designer you have long admired. The whole world we are handing you is in a precarious situation, you all know this, and feels genuinely broken. Ecologically, politically, institutionally, the promises of the 20th century, of modernity, of our inheritances, progress, growth, and the forward march of liberal democracy and modern technology have not delivered what they promised. And our generation, the people who were supposed to steward these systems and reimagine them, and who had every tool and every warning and every opportunity to invent something better, we've also failed to measure it up. Instead, we have continued the old extractions. We have let new technologies serve old hungers. We have fed a global rise of right-wing extremism and fascism that is now eating at the foundations of democratic life itself. We have allowed wealth to concentrate at a scale that makes a mockery of every promise of shared prosperity. We have watched international law become shredded, awful, and unnecessary wars unfold, and somehow found ways to place our bets on violence rather than restoration, on profit rather than empathy or possibility, on imprisonment rather than restorative justice, on the narrow-mindedness and paranoia rather than enlightenment and renaissance, or the generous and the new. And our technologies, which could have been the instruments of something genuinely new, have largely become engines of the same old extractions, moving faster and with less accountability than anything that came before. Robotic armed machines, fire-throwing dogs, an AI race that serves accumulation rather than generative imagination, social media that has shattered a collective reality of truth. This is what we've accomplished with our best tools. I'm not going to soften this or pivot away from it too quickly, because you already know it. You live inside of it. It is your inheritance, and you deserve someone to just say it plainly. We are all responsible for this, all of us who came before you, every generation that had the tools and the warnings and the opportunity to choose differently and didn't, or not entirely, or not enough. Thanks. And, you know, I'm saying it plainly, we know this. It's a shit show out there, you know? And this is what you're coming out into. And I know that's such a heavy thing to say on the day of a celebration, and I know you didn't ask for this inheritance. But I also know, all of you in this room, I know what you've spent the last few years learning to do. And I do not believe it is an accident that this particular question, how do we reimagine what we've nearly destroyed, lands in the people trained in the radical imaginatory. A few years ago during pandemic, so maybe a couple more than a few, but just after in early days of pandemic, so 21, I found a book that I kept returning to. It's called The Mushroom at the End of the World by anthropologist Anna Lauenhaupt Singh. On the surface, it is a book about a fungus, the matsutake mushroom, a delicacy in Japan that can command extraordinary prices. But it's really a book about a question I want to put to you today. What can live in the ruins we have made? The matsutake is one of the strangest things in nature. It cannot be cultivated. It will not grow in healthy forests, in managed environments, in controlled conditions. It grows only where forests have been destroyed by human activity, logged, burned, poisoned, in the wreckage, in the places we have given up on. And yet it doesn't simply survive there, it flourishes. It becomes something extraordinary. And in doing so, it begins the slow work of making the forest possible again. Not the forest the way that it was, and not the forest that was, but something new, something that couldn't have existed without the destruction that preceded it. The matsutake doesn't restore the forest. It makes something that never existed before out of conditions that seem to make nothing possible. This is a story about radical invention, not restoration, about fruiting in the wreckage rather than mourning what was lost. Around this mushroom, Singh finds an entire emergent ecosystem, and this is super interesting. Human and more than human, economic and ecological, spanning continents and cultures, Japanese gourmands, Hmong jungle fighters turned foragers, Finnish nature guides, Yi Chinese goat herders, capitalist traders, all of them arising in the margins, in the precarious spaces between the old world and whatever comes next, all of them generating meaning, connection, even beauty in the ruins of something that failed. She calls it collaborative survival. And to me, it really felt like such an affirmation in how I think creative work is made. The question that the matsutake poses, what manages to live in fruit and thrive and generate new life in the ruins we have made, is an artistic question, a design question. It is the question that everyone in this room has been training to answer, whether they knew it or not. As a painter, some of my most instructive moments come out of the process. And I would like to share some of that with you, not as a biography, but as an argument. When I'm working at my best, my brain is not in charge. It sounds strange to say out loud, maybe especially to some parents, but every artist in this room knows exactly what I mean. There is a state you enter, some call it a flow state. You have all entered it in your best moments, in the late nights, in the work that surprised you, where the hand seems to know something the conscious mind does not, where decisions get made visually, intuitively, pulling from everything you have ever seen and studied and felt, and also from something that feels like it comes from nowhere, where chance enters and you follow it, where serendipity becomes a method. I want to be precise about what this is because it is built, not bestowed. Intuition is a developed sense, earned slowly through the discipline of paying attention, through constant curiosity about everything, the way the late afternoon light comes into the studio and changes what you thought you knew about a color, the way one painting reflects into another in a mirror and something in the oblique glimpse, the thing seen sideways, suddenly becomes the central question, the way the material talks back to you if you're willing to listen. This is a skill, one of the most demanding and important skills there is in creative work. And what it requires above all is patience and a genuine embrace of not knowing. Not knowing as an internal sense of possibility rather than paralysis. The unresolved as a place where real work lives. When I let my brain try to direct my hand, when I think to my way to a painting, it closes down. The worst paintings I've ever made. It becomes self-conscious, derivative. The most necessary work comes from the willingness to stay in the discomfort of the open question. And it's really uncomfortable. To resist the urge to conclude before the thing is ready to conclude. So what I'm describing is one of the hardest and most disciplined practices available. The practice of remaining open inside uncertainty, of making something from nothing, of reaching into the radical imaginatory for a thing that did not exist before and could not have been planned. And this work is never done alone. What we make in the studio is made in constant discourse with our ancestors, with cosmic pasts and speculative futures, with other artists, with your closest friends, with the work you love and the work that challenges you, the books that broke something open, the film that showed you a different way of seeing, the music that got inside your body and rearranged something. All of it participates in the creative process. All of it is in the room with you, even when no one else is. Lean on each other, work collectively, build the kind of relationships where you can interrogate not just each other's work, but each other's assumptions, especially the assumptions you don't know you yet have or that you have yet. Those are the most important ones. Those ones so deep they feel like facts. What I want to instill in you today in this wonderful, fractured, and extraordinary world is this. That practice is the answer to the crisis we are handing you. What artists know, what you know, what the last several years in these studios have trained into your hands, your eyes, your nervous system, is something different from what the world is reaching for. You know how to question the assumption before you accept it. You know how to sit with not knowing long enough for something genuine to happen and emerge. You know how to imagine what doesn't exist yet with enough rigor and strangeness that it starts to become real. This is the work. I know this because I learned it here at RISD. This is where I first had to unlearn everything I thought I knew about painting, about making, about what it meant to have a voice, where I had to shed imitation, shed the temptation to follow trends, follow the safe path, and instead find something that could only come from inside me, from my own experience, my own life, from my own particular way of seeing. That work, the work of becoming genuinely inventive rather than derivative, that began here in these studios, in this city, under these teachers who refused to let me get away with the easy answer. And now it's yours, as practice, as a thing you carry forward and deepen for the rest of your life. You all remix, chop and screw, sample and reinvent. You take the wreckage of culture and make something new, including new language and neologisms with a fluency that astonishes. You can hold so many realities together with a seemingly cynical, nihilistic irreverence, like so many of the memes created and shared that are impossible for me to mention up here. But you all know what I mean. Old lame ones that are like really old, like this is fine or whatever, or the ones of the dog in the burning room, or of our leaders making a mockery of themselves, social political tragedies made mockeries of, think Epstein to hantavirus, processing the absurdity of the dumpster fire of our reality through humor sharp enough to cut. And underneath all of it, there's something I find genuinely moving, a palpable and almost defiant desire for a different kind of future, a cynical, irreverent optimism that functions as a sophisticated form of processing for a speculative futurity. You know what it means to live and create inside the non-binary, contradictory, the complicated and nonsensical. That is exactly what it looks like to live in the ruins and to stop imagining. The Matsutake flourishes and thrives where nothing else will grow. So how can we, and how can you, and how can we? Trust the work, trust the obsessions that brought you here, the exuberant and sometimes inexplicable desire to make something that has never existed before, the beauty you reach for, the poetics that move you, and the thing you are trying to conjure from the radical imaginary. It is not a luxury. It is the potent instrument. The world you witness, unstable, contradictory, violent, breathtaking, sublime, unresolved, is already inside your work. Art and culture are not made elsewhere and brought back. From witness, from feeling, from the refusal to look away, what moves you deeply in the studio comes out of the world you inhabit, the world you are paying attention to, and the world that you love, or have massive problems with, or just want to escape. Beauty and poetics carry weight. They are how human beings have always processed what is unbearable, imagined what is not yet possible, and kept alive the sense that something else could exist. A painting that stops you in your tracks, a building that changes how you feel in your body, a piece of design so right it seems inevitable, yet somehow extremely vulnerable. These are arguments about what the world could be. They always were. Artists know something that almost no one else does: how to work inside contradiction without resolving it too soon, how to hold opposites, beauty and rupture, grief and desire, the personal and the political, the exquisite and the catastrophic, and let them live together without forcing a resolution. The world is full of people who need clarity, determined outcomes, and who reach for the easy answer because the difficult one is too uncomfortable. You have spent years training to do the opposite. That is the most sophisticated form of thinking that there is. So bring all of it. Bring the beauty and the rigor and the obsession and the exuberance. Bring the late nights and the failed paintings and the moment when something unexpected appears in the oblique glance and becomes the whole question. Bring your grief about the world and your fury and your tenderness and your irreducible desire to make something that matters. Get proximate to where the suffering is, not to document it from a distance, but because proximity changes you, and what changes you changes the work and changes something else. Don't fall into the inherited binaries of traditional political, social constructs in all manners. Interrogate what is handed down to you. The choices, the histories, the counter-histories, counter-memories, and counter-futures. Stay inside the messy place of it all. Figure out which elements to keep, evolve, and what to throw away. It's always way more complicated than, we all know this, righteous or evil, good or bad, high or low, science or myth, technology or nature. Own every choice you make, the materials, the stories, the voices, the assumptions you refuse, and whatever counter-futures you assemble. None of it is neutral. All of it is a decision about what kind of world you are building. Think radically about what that means. Reimagine an ecology of creativity that lives beyond the limitations of the marketplace and science, and think critically, honestly, unflinchingly about the ways art and architecture have been used throughout history to both enslave and liberate our senses. That history is yours to reckon with and yours to redirect. The most beautiful thing you may also be, the most beautiful thing you make may also be the most necessary. They are not in competition. For artists working in full possession of their gifts, in their witness of this seemingly broken and extraordinary world, they never were. The Matsutake thrives where nothing else will grow. The Matsutake grows right here in all of you. We are here, you are here, and you know how to do this. You are a beautiful, insightful, witty, and inspiring generation. You are at home in this maze of contradictions that form our reality in a way that astonishes those who came before you. All the things that freak us out, and even more so our elders, the non-binary, the fluid, the unresolved, and the multiplicities are native to you. You live inside these possibilities the way the rest of us are still learning to. You toss age-old constructs aside, not out of recklessness, but out of deeper instinct for what is true. You have the tools at your disposal we couldn't have imagined, and a wicked sense of humor as inventive, as generative, and genuinely radical as your imagination. The memes, the remixes, the absurdist joy in the face of a world ablaze, a creative intelligence at work, the Matsutake fruiting right here in this room. I am so honored to be here with you today, and I'm genuinely and deeply excited for you and the worlds you will create. You deserve to celebrate, you deserve to revel in what you have done here. Congratulations, class of 2026.
Julie, that was an amazing speech. Thank you. What a gift. And now we can all go home. And now we will recognize graduate students from this year's class of 2026. Our graduate students received their hoods, one of the symbols of their achievements, at yesterday's hooding ceremonies. So every year I have to say this, I'm going to say it this year. And this is for some of the students, but also mostly for families, guardians, beloveds in the audience. Please hold your applause and your hooting and hollering until the students get across the stage. That way we can hear everybody's name. And I'm going to track who doesn't follow those directions. Provost Ghadessi, please present the candidates for the master's degrees.
I'll get on my toes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Hugo. Candidates for master's degrees, please rise if you wish and if you are able. President Williams, upon the recommendation of the faculty of Rhode Island School of Design, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for the degrees of Master of Arts in Global Arts and Cultures, Master of Arts in Art and Design Education, Master of Arts in Teaching, Master of Fine Arts, Master of Architecture, Master of Industrial Design, Brown RISD Master of Arts and Design Engineering, Master of Design in Interior Studies Adaptive Reuse, Master of Design in Interior Studies Exhibition and Narrative Environments, and Master of Landscape Architecture.
With the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Rhode Island School of Design, I hereby confer the master's degrees with all the rights and privileges appropriate thereunto. Candidates for master's degrees, please come forward to receive your diplomas. Again, please, families, Hold your applause until all graduate students have been announced so that each family can hear their student's name called.
Master of Arts in Global Arts and Cultures, Pinar Bashir. April Liu. Mary Mitchell. Rachel Jung. Now for the Master of Arts in Art plus Design Education, Julia Ambrose. Itzania Zenith Valenzuela. Charlotina Faubert. Catherine Mei Feng Fu. Catherine Yejin Lee. Bennett Portillo. Jiao Yu Shi. Kalisha To. Maxwell Zawatsky. Now for the Master of Arts in Teaching, Jacqueline Andrade. Sarah Block. Karine Carrion. Willow Teller. Now for the Master of Fine Arts in Furniture Design, Mary Alford. Mohammed Asif Shahaman. Leah Dagon. Andrew Goulet. Jisoo Han Jung. Gregory Kamichek. Eun Young Lee. Spencer Graham Peterson. Eric Whitties. Now for the Master of Fine Arts in Graphic Design, Avri Allen. Clara Eloise Cayosa. Shrishti Chatterjee. Barbara Kutlak Soares. Dvorit Deborah Kodonovich. Thea Kim. Faith Kim. Haley Lee. Ritu Mantri. Kevin Tomas. Zairan Liu. Andrea Mato Martinez. Sachi Mehta. Lucy Pham. Yushi Zhang. Josie Schwan. Xia Tong Tsai. Yi Fei Tsai. Ai Yi Chung. Yuval Gur Jalan. Annie Hu. Roshi Li. Yi Yun Liu. Yuan Ji Liu. Fang Zhou Lu. Yu Yun Chang. Anne-Marie Torreson. Han Yi Wang. Yixuan Wang. Zishi Shu. Master of Fine Arts in Ceramics, Matthew Brown. Cindy Zhao Yu Shen. Anna Rasmussen. Rebecca Stevens. Now for the Master of Fine Arts in Glass, Ashley Bedette. Ling Yi Hu. Abby Sunday. Master of Fine Arts in Illustration, Ming Lu Du. Manuela Guzman. Rhea Hu. Faith Huang. Burju Koleli. Irene Ludin. Ranran Ma. Longwen Mervin Miao. Nayab Navid. Ria Pradeep. Ping Fan Chue. Mott Tumen. Sky Wang. Now for the Master of Fine Arts in Jewelry and Metalsmithing, Xinyi Li. Yuhao Li. Zeyu Yang. Jonathan Zalakos. Fusheng Zhong. Master of Fine Arts in Painting, Lloyd Princeton Conge. Carolyn Kocha. Isabel Horgan. Siran Yao. Katie Ann Lowe. Lucy Lukovich. Banshee Maria. Shiyan Monk. Pavel Roskovensky. Talha Shams. Ricky Vassen. Master of Fine Arts in Photography, Tomorrow, Blake Chapman. Alexa Nicole Curran. Kyle Gyu-min Dong. Elliot Golden. Virginia Hanasick. Wen Zhang. And now for the Master of Fine Arts in Printmaking. Eliza Adams. Priyanka Kumar. Yushi Liu. Catalina Martinez Rojas. Mitchell Lim Poon. Maya Lakshmi Srinivasan. Alex Ye-Ying Wen. Now for the Master of Fine Arts in Sculpture, Pablo Cazares. Yuna Choi. Georgiana Janko. Deborah Shia Fisher. Kali Bliatia. Edgar Ed Andre Sororzano Villegas. Stephanie Van Riet. Master of Fine Arts in Textiles, Dalia Ogaroal. Asma Amadou. And Yeji Kim. Yik Heng Lee. Jenny Ritchie. Maite Sosa Metal. Now for the Master of Architecture, Anna Crookson. Kate Holbrook. Brooke McLaughlin. Ravina Deshpande. Lauren Davis. Abigail Jarvis. Carolyn Anderson. Elizabeth Shepard. Jae-Yin Samuel Choi. Roger Labib. Zhong Wang Li. Li Xuan Liu. Xu Chang Fan. Liu Jihan. Cindy. Dalia Sadek. Magnolia Maskun. Ye Min Lee. Camilla Redois. Yun Song. Jennifer Stageberg. And now for the Master of Industrial Design, Shitol Agrawal. Eitan Brodsky. Po Sheng Ching. Portia Yuting Chu. Disha Daresh Kumar R. Mingyuan Dong. Rusudan Dwashurashvili. Eric Fan. Jeremy Grail. Rusha Calais. Alicia Lee. Austin Wang. Karima Weinman. Kev Ruyang Chow. Now for the Brown RISD Master of Arts Design Engineering. Veronica Cargay. Yenlin Darren Chow. Regia Diao. William Feinberg. Serena Gupta. Liu Wei Hu. Jia Long Lai. Maitland Lang. Yifan Liao. Shu Yi Mao. Min Hyun Na. Bojo Brian Pang. Sage Rebello. Heather Robertson. Maya Schlussel. Yutong Song. Yang Chen. Shaivi Tomar. Aditi Vardhan. Chang Fong Wang. Runan Wang. Aaron Shuohan Shish. Yiwen Zhang. Now for the Masters in Interior Architecture. Tatum Dodd. Kayla Duncan. Lauren Farias. Xin Yu Han. Yexiang Yi He. C.Y. Hung. Rachel Cub. Kei-Chen Lee. Xinyuan Liu. Eliza Maris. Tai Lai Su. Zhenmi Tang. Nawal Uruj. Jihao Xing, Xian Yu Yang, Xiao Zong, Emily Zhang, Xi Yi Tsai, Yu Chen, Juhi Cho, Matthew Gersovich, Harin Kim, Xiaoyu Lan, Anna Rapson, Dhruvi Anand Shah, Yachi Mali Zheng, Master of Landscape Architecture, Yahweh Chen, Manal Dar, Brooke Dutton, Cristina Falcone, Beishi Rika Feng, Evan Friedman, Shishi Hu, Sophie Kaplan Bucciarelli, Travis Kelly, Marguerite Cruzcamp, Rasha Lama, Molly Lefonowitz, Catherine Lesh, Maria Lopez Vasquez, Gabriel Peter, Mary Ritchie, Sun Zihan, Javas Tan, Megan True Love,
Forgot. Everyone, please join me in applauding our new graduates. Provost Ghadessi, please present the candidates for the bachelor's degrees.
Candidates for bachelor's degrees, please rise if you wish and if you are able.
Oh boy. There they are.
President Williams, upon the recommendation of the faculty of Rhode Island School of Design, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Architecture and Bachelor of Fine Arts.
With the recommendation of the faculty, and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Rhode Island School of Design, I hereby confer the bachelor's degrees with all of the rights and privileges appropriate thereunto. Candidates for bachelor's degrees, please come forward to receive your diplomas. And again, so, my critical observation skills will applaud the families who did what I told them to do, but not the students who did not do what I told them to do, which is no surprise. So we're going to get this party rolling. Let's go.
We're going to start with Bachelor of Architecture. Olivia Boucher. Von Berger. Emily Tsai. Ram Charan. Alexander Chrisman. Henry Ding. Xinyue Du. Early. Michael Earl. Sabrina Eisenberg. Scott Fung. Mara Gamadabreka. Clarisa Guzman. Chen Chen She. Tong Hu. Jay Huang. Hyun Suk Charles Chung. Ryan Jihyun Lee. Mo Lin. Oliver McGovern. Olivia Mesmer. Hannah O. Pradipa Patanakis Paibul. Hyun No. Femi Shonuga Fleming. Min Woo Sun. Bryn Stubler. Yana Tsivis. Ronan Wang. Lian Yang. Kai Mei Ju. Now for the Bachelor of Fine Arts in Apparel Design. Aaliyah Baldwin. Nerukesa Burgess. Mariam Devadze. Michaela Giuliani. Callie Kircher. Day Ku. Maya Muravlev. Ji Hu. Liam St. Clair Rounds. Gage Sias. Azaria Vanderstock Smallwood. Ankita Butt. Anushka Chowdhury. Elizabeth Chait. Tara Chin. Noah Kaner. Olivia Kwong. Zoe Maxwell. Maggie McCreary. Olivia Moon. Luis Nishimura. Julian Rodriguez. Zoe Vaspel. L. Wall. Samuel Webster. Mandy Jung. And now for the Bachelor of Fine Arts in Graphic Design. Yoon Bae. Willow Baker. Constance Spenford. James Spurgat. Alice Chin. Ye-Wan Henny Cho. Sarah Feng. Ella Goodman. Ashley Ha. Gabrielle Harkless. Alexandra Hefner. Natalie Ho. Emily Hook. Katie Huang. Jun Young Jung. Rongdo Jin. Kira or Kyra? Kira Karafotas. Aaron Kim. Hyunmin Kim. Joyce Kim. Kay Kim. Kiri Kim. Nareen Kim. Angelina Kirinchik. Emily Kwok. Soyeon Kwon. Gayeon Lee. Hye-Lim Lee. Janice Lee. Bowen Lee. Yuxuan Lee. April Sujong Lim. Claire Lin. Agnes Leo. Chelsea Leo. Grace Leo. Zenny Lu. Nadine Hannah Macabagal Bautista. Rafael Timothy Pescador Mediodía. Jae-Won Moon. Izana Nordhaus. Aaron Park. Irene Park. Andrew Pack. Alexander Pink. Anais Reese. Nada Rodinant. Ryan Scott. Yu Min Shin. Jashuan Sun. Chehek Sorana. Jenny Mejiatang. Amir Tarawane. Tiffany Tsan. Vincent Wang. Olivia Weiser. Caleb Wu. Fang Si Wu. Maggie Meitong Shan. Jin Hong Xiao. Zimo Yang. Marie Yu. Renee Ju. Shi Yun Ju. Water break.
I don't have anything to say, do I? It's not me, is it? No, it's not me.
And now, for Bachelor of Fine Arts in Industrial Design, Haira Abdul Razak. Rishita Acharya. Amy Ai. Aditri Arun. Lionel Bang. Ming B. Ariana Chacon. Yuting Chang. Feiyu Simon Chen. Catherine Chen. Lan Chen. Yushen Chen. Jeannie Chung. Adam Coleman. Tishika Deora. Marty Derricks. Raul Falcon Vargas. Rick Fan. Charles Feng. Alexis Gansa. Francesca Golden. Adam Gottesteiner. Jeremiah Harrington. Kayla Lee Hayes. Catherine Huang. Tiffany Huang. Waverly Huang. Tuhue Huitu. Jolie G. Stephen Jiang. Devin Jin. Chloe Zhou. Zohar Kennard. Ariana Kim. Danielle Kim. Yumin Kim. Karunya Kumar. Kate Kwan. Dorinda Kiermatang. Sitara Lakani. Eileen Lee. Christy Lee. Ryan Lee. Yequan Lee. Cindy Lee. Ga Young Lee. Zishi Lee. Zishen Liao. Zira Liao. Alayka? Alayka Seputra. Nicole Lu. Eva Lu. Jake Lunder. William Mitchell. Emma Murray. Desiree Naitenya. Mofihinto Laulua Olucheye. Olivia Petrarca. Matthew Rebecini. Chloe Rounce. Noam Schreier. Jung Hyun Shin. Alan Soltis Gray. Fang Jo Tang. Zining Tang. Yao Tian. Nelly Torres. Max Triff. Christina Wang. Wan Bin Wang. Kai Wang. Xiaowei Wang. Zejun Wang. Kevin Wei. Jiayun Wu. Jiayi Wu. Alex Wu. Wendy Yi. Rume Jia. Yuting Jan. Elaine Zhang. Joe Vincent Zhang. Yifan Zhao. Wenshu Zhang. Ilano Jo, Hao Heng Tso, Shu Mu Tso, now for the Bachelor of Fine Arts in Interior Architecture. Ching Shan Dai, Sia Girur, Abby House, Kylie Hong, Shin Yu Lee, Ji Yoon Park, Pilar Rivera, Kia Smith, G. Uberoy, Ragesha Varma. Now for the Bachelor of Fine Arts in Ceramics, Sage Barden, Brenna Brueggemann, Jennifer Wynn, Shishen Liu, Mimosa Kocheneski, Sophia Nikogosyan, Angelina Rotar Filgueras, Jasmine Yichen Sun, Karis Vaspoli, Susie Yiming Zhang, Bachelor of Fine Arts in Film, Animation, Video, Marco Aman Biancardi, Shane Ali Anderson, Evelyn Tsao, Ali Casa, Grace Demopoulos, Amelia Dixon, Kevin Du, Veronica Iges, Laurel Eisenman, Jonathan Eke, Joran Fan, you wrote double major apparel. Oh, I see. They just came. Sorry, I was just confused. Okay. Olivia Fournier. I don't know. I don't know if I was supposed to say it. Lu Han Gao. Paloma Gonzalez. Isaac Grenadier. Nora Gutman. Carolyn Bo Salix Young Hua Hu. Ji Wei Huang. April Young. Antonia Kogan. Wang Lam Ko. Brendan Crew. Roy Larmour. Kate Lee. Maggie Melanson. Vetli Milset. Patrick Millard. Venus Mose. Zoe Napurano. Hee-Jin Park. Ridhi Sarkar. Sejin Shah. Ga-In Shin. Kyle Stockman. Beishan Song. Katie Whelan. Munan Yin. Andrew Zhang. Li Xingzhang. Yu Xinju. Bachelor of Fine Arts in Glass, Leah Barron. Anjali Gold. Min-Sik Ju. Baron Lee. Bachelor of Fine Arts in Illustration, Allison Abraham. Yomi Odogbile. Loki Algren. Nadia Alzubi. Gina Bay. Ollie Barch. Xiangyi Ben. Aneka Beth. Ritvik Baduri. Trinity Breeze. Kaylee Brown. Eva Buccino. Mia K. Cheng. Ali Chi. Yunyi Choi. Awele Chukwama. Emma Condon. Quinn Connolly. Theodora Contis. Simone Kundif. Christina Daly Olivares. Laura DeVito. Yi Wei Dong. Shinru Duan. Mark Eaton. Joshua Ehrlich. Lily Ingblom Stryker. Fionn Fanning. Seamus Fanning. Yi-Ting Fei. Hyde Flanders. Maya Gao. Susana Garcia. Zoe Gilmore. Rochin Valerie Guan. Jonathan Han. Ian Hutt. Elizabeth Hernandez. Alexandra Hogue. Larissa Hom. Jisha Hua. Amelia Jung. Kenneth Jung. Yan Jung. Rotong Jin. Ariel Khan. Emily Krupp. James Lamontagne. Eugene Lau. Hyunjo Lee. Jia Ying Lee. Yato Nicholas Lee. Lu Jia Liao. Ji-Wan Lim. Yaoren Liu. Kaylin Lusby. Haley Maka. Sarah Mason. York Megbejume. Fiona McGill. Sarah Nadich. Greer Nakadagawa Lee. Ziyun Yan. Cody Olson. Alex Patel. Sofia Perales Buck. Amelia Politi. Francesca Postigo. Annie Bond Ramsey. Nitika Rao. Jackson Rivera. Lucia Ryan. Celise Sanchez. Margot Sanders. Madeline Scalete. Sophia Schreiber. Tyra Sherman. Summer Shafi. Katie Sheng. Autumn Shi. Nicole Shakri. Eric Song. Caitlin Stanton. Alexis Fanya Tirtaputra. Luna Tobar. Lee Truman. Kiana Walters. Joshua Weber. Wei Tracy. Hai Mo Wei. Ron Wei. Maggie Wang. Austin Wu. Muji Shu. Zimo Young. Daniel Yun. Ying Jie Yu. Xuan Yuan. Ji Kai Zhan. Alina Zhang. Jessica Zhang. Yinuo Zhang. Wenzi Zhang. Wenrei Zhou. Now for the Bachelor of Fine Arts in Jewelry and Metalsmithing. Dash Barnes. Sophia Bassett. Jameson Enriquez. Feng Feng Li. Saki Onoe. Amelia Sagir. Frank Zwolinski. Now for the Bachelor of Fine Arts in Painting. Lucinda Beard. Birdie Blaugrund. Joshua Bulos. Anne-Marie Cabrera. Wen Hao Tsai. Kayla Carabez. Victor Chu. Wu Zhang Cho. Gabrielle Cruz. Isabel Ferren. Serafina Foreman. Lucy Fricky. Philip Glick. Alicia Gong. Benjamin Guyot. Phoebe Hatch. Claire Hawkinson. Zachary Hicks. Jalen Hickson. Sarah Huang. Wendy Jiang. Larissa Kachko. Natalia Capitan. Jesselyn Lee. Siwan Lee. Rongje Lee. Cooper Litka. Ana Sofia Martinez. Anna Miller. Alessandra Morabito. Joe Young. Charles Romano. Willa Sheehan. Leah Simpao. Naomi Stalker. Ray Swartz. Ruby Tulan. George Tyler. Fiona Walter. Selena Wong. Grace Widener. Inga Wilhelmi. Sabrina Jung. And now for the Bachelor of Fine Arts in Photography. Sung-Hoon Baek. Aisha Gasimova. Tanaya Hansen. Frankie Olivadise. Jia-Ying Wang. Xiaolong Wang. Alice Xiangming Zhou. Now for the Bachelor of Fine Arts in Printmaking. Irioluatoni Asojo. Tamar Comedies. Max Perman. Tate Justus. Bachelor of Fine Arts in Sculpture, Natalie Brumley. Edith Burris Ketcher. Yu-Chan Choi. Elsa Antonia Magalares Fishman. Karma Johnson. Zaria Janae Madden. Charles Star Matadine. Cole Miller. Chloe Park. Ashia Patel. Leah Perry Wiggins. Dee Wong. Cal Waitena. Arete Shu. Hong Zhe-yin. Jin Yu. Han Zheng. Bachelor of Fine Arts in Textiles. Nathaniel Campos. Yenhao Shirley Chen. Fiona Fan. Ida Franey. Crystal Han. Livia Casarda. Zachary Kim. Anna Kosinski. Ethan Lam. Caria Petrosino. Prince Jung.
Class. So for those of you who threw your mortar boards, you may want to find them and put them back on your heads. We have a little more business to take care of. Uh-oh. Thank you to the team of RISD staff and students who have produced today's event along with our partners here at Rhode Island Convention Center. Thank you again to the families and friends who came to celebrate this special day from as close as Boston to as far away as Malaysia. After this, I invite you to join our entire community back on the RISD campus in Market Square, outdoors, next to the RISD auditorium for a festive reception. Class of 2026, please rise again. You are about to become members of an extraordinary global community. The RISD Alumni Association, no matter if they are at work in the studio, part of a company of collaboration, alumni use their talents and bold ideas to impact the world by tackling urgent societal and environmental issues, creating new businesses and forms of practice, inspiring us with their beautiful works of art, products, and ideas. The power of artists and designers, your power, cannot be underestimated. Take a moment to consider what you want your own legacy to become as part of this distinctive lineage. So this is the last bit of business. It's called turning the tassel. And it symbolizes one's transition from candidate to graduate. So, for those of you who have tassels, because some of you do not, well, you can just sort of do this with your finger and we'll accept it. On the count of 3, I ask each of you to move your tassel from the right, so if it's not on the right, put it back on the right, to the left. So on the count of 3, you'll move it from the right to the left. And for everyone in this assembly, once they have done that, we will be applauding Rhode Island School of Design's newest alums. So, stage party, count with me. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations again, everyone. I'm going to ask that honored guests please do remain in the hall until all graduates have exited. You can meet up with your graduate outside or at the reception in Market Square. Those of us in the stage party comprised of Board of Trustee members, department heads, graduate program directors, the museum, director and our honorary degree recipients are going to exit, and then the graduates will exit, and then honored guests will exit. And let's thank our interpreter. Thank you very much. Okay. ERB, can we have some music to help us move ourselves out of here? Stage party, then students, then families. Let's get this party started.